the month of November. I just want to send a shout out to our Veteran Service Officer, Stuart Lee. He has surpassed almost $3 million in claims and benefits. He is the DC Veteran Service Officer here for the Mayor's Office of Veteran Affairs. So if you would like to make an appointment, you can reach out to him at Stuart, that's stuart.lee@dc.gov, or you can just simply call us at 202-724-5454. Please mute all of your mics. Understand that people will be coming in and coming out, and we love your company, but please go ahead and turn your mic off. Also, be respectful. If you have questions, please wait to the end. If there's a specific question to a speaker or someone here, ensure that speakers and those that want to have information put out there, please put all your information in the chat for contact information, your name, email address, and phone number, and what organization you're here to represent. And make it easier for everyone to grab that information and be able to utilize the resources that you provide. Also, as you can see, we have our Veterans Expansion Program. We have expanded to unlimited ride vouchers for DC residents and DC family members and DC caregivers. Also, you can see our one-sheeter with list our program services and outreach. I'm going to pass the mic back over to our LGBTQ veteran coordinator and community relations and U.S. Army veteran, Fallon Williams. And thank you.
All righty. Thank you, Tony. And I just want to say, for the agenda today, we just had our MOVA leadership welcome. We're going to go over November is American Indian Heritage Month. And we just want to make sure that we're always, as MOVA, representing all of our veterans. Last month, well, actually, October 15th ended Hispanic Heritage Month, and we're going into ensuring that our Native Indian population is represented as well, too. And today's special guest will include, I call her Moa Du, she'll represent herself too, but she'll be giving just her brief story on women and veterans, her voyage into opening up one of many businesses of love healing services, and just her story, not only as a woman veteran, but as a woman business owner as well too. And here today we also have TD Bank, who has brought their resources to provide our veterans with how to basically get into banking as a business itself. And then after that, we're going to have a question and answer. We're going to do upcoming events, and then the floor will be open for individuals who would like to do any type of introductions of their company, organization, or any type of events that they have as well too that they will put out. And then we're going to end it with remarks. So thank everyone for coming. And we're going to go on to our cultural competency of the month. So as we all said, November is American Indian Heritage Month. During basically National Native American Heritage Month, we honor our Native veterans and their service to our country. We all know the Native American code talkers in World War I and World War II played a huge component to our success, passing it down to the Army Cherokee and Choctaw code talkers of World War II. Basically laying the groundwork for our Navajo code talkers as well too. And we want to recognize Marine Corps veteran Gregorio Kishketan. He is a part of the tribal of Kickapoo of Oklahoma. He's currently with the Center for Minority Veterans, very amazing veteran himself, involved in the community, and just outstanding leader himself. Feel free to reach out if you ever have any questions, have any other indigenous individuals, natives who need someone to represent them or contact, or honestly, the VA is really trying to ensure that all populations are represented. So he's a perfect candidate for that as well too. And without further ado, I introduce you to Army veteran. She doesn't think she's famous, but as you can see, she has a picture of Kevin Hart right there. So I'll allow her to have the floor and introduce herself as well too.
Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me? Okay. Hi everyone. Hi, my name is Moji Sola Edu, and I am a disabled veteran, Army veteran, and also I was a former homeless veteran. And after going through my journey of dealing with military sexual trauma and other different issues that I was dealing with, at that time when I was getting out of the military, there weren't a lot of resources for me, and I decided I wanted to heal. And during that time period of me healing, I decided to create different businesses. I am an award-winning media personality, so I've interviewed Denzel Washington, Kevin Hart, and many other different celebrities. But that was great, but my passion was to heal others and to provide services that were able to help me, and making sure that they're accessible for all veterans, because no one should have to go through a transition not knowing or wondering or just feeling alone. So I created She Wins Network and the She Wins Unconference, and with She Wins Unconference, it's about providing women and veterans and their families resources through their journey, whether you're a housewife, whether you're in leadership, just having a tribe of people to support you in what you're doing. Anything that's their updates in the VA system that you need to know, any grants, any resources, events, movie tickets, different things that we provide. Sometimes we do scholarship there at She Wins Network. Also, I have Love Energy Services, where we provide Reiki services, yoga, and life coaching to veterans dealing with complex trauma. Because a lot of people's trauma is different, and once you start pulling back the layers of trauma, you find out there's different things that are contribute to trauma. So with doing the Reiki and other modalities, people are able to either journal or remember the things that they went through during their MST situation or the traumatic moment, so they're able to express themselves. I have partnered with the DC Mayor's Office of Veterans Affairs to provide yoga for free for the veterans and their families, and with the Office of the LGBTQIA+. Every month, we're doing another one next month, and providing services so they can find a way to be unapologetic about rest and self-care, because it's very important. We're in a heightened state of a lot of veteran suicide, a lot of veterans going through depression, PTSD, and not only just the veteran, but also their family members going through that. So how can we incorporate, if we take care of the veteran, we can also ensure that the family is being taken care of also, right? So we do that every month. Sometimes it's just hard making sure that the veterans have supplies like mats, blocks, and all these different things, because I want to make sure that it's accessible to the veteran. And some of them can't afford these things, so sometimes we provide the mats, the blocks, and different things to help them. The yoga is accessible if you're sitting in a bed and you're bedridden, if you're on a chair, if you're on the mat. We make it accessible for everyone, and we kind of push deep rest and restorative yoga in order to restore your body. Sometimes we're not aware when we're dealing with our disabilities how we push our bodies to the point, because in the military we're just taught to go, 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 and we forget that this body needs to be recharged. So we provide that, a lot of mindfulness practices, and navigating stuck issues. You might be going through life and you feel like you're stuck, and also I help entrepreneurs who are stuck, not seeing the vision of their business, how to take it to the next level, and also if they want to need help with like becoming a VA vendor, or they want to register their business, I provide those services. So that's a bit of what we do with She Wins and Love Energy Services. My big thing is making sure that everybody has an opportunity to heal. A lot of veterans are going away from just the medication and just traditional medicine. So if you notice, most companies and most organizations like a Mercy Hospital or Johns Hopkins, are introducing a lot of alternative medicine to help veterans, help them get through their issues, or at least they can be manageable, right? So that's basically me, and I've been working with the DC Mayor's Office of Veterans Affairs. I think this is going on 5 years, just providing services and being a community resource and connector for veterans in their transition, to make sure that they have an easier transition, because transition isn't the same for everybody. So, and also for people to remember that no matter what capacity you served in the military, your service matters, and you deserve to be seen and heard, and your voice matters, you know? Closed mouth doesn't get fed. So this is why these roundtables are very important, to provide the services and making sure that we are all doing our due diligence to make sure that our veterans are served efficiently and properly, and making sure if there is a need, making sure that we get to them, boots on the ground, or other different resources. And thank you all for what you do, and thank you, Tony, and thank you, Fallon, for all the hard work that you all and the whole entire MOVA team and the agencies. Without you, I wouldn't be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mo, and I appreciate you.
I'll give it back to Fallon. Fallon, you there?
Okay, I am. Thank you, and we will move on, and at the end we'll allow you to, did anyone currently have any questions for Mo at the time in the chat or things of that nature? I think what they said, do you provide services for men? I'm not sure why they answered that, but I think you said all veterans.
Yes, I do provide services for veterans, all veterans, and their families. If you need help, I'm also working on a project right now with some Vietnam veterans with one of the vet centers. Trying to work out to see if I can work with some men. So I work with men specifically. I work with women. If there's a women's setting for MST, I do a workshop with them, working on how to get their experiences out through journaling and different things like that, and how to deal with some of their complex trauma. And I do that with men also. So it's a combination. I can do co-ed, I can do separate, specifically depending on what the situation is. So just let me know, or contact DC Mayor's Office of Veterans Affairs, and they'll get in contact with me, and we can do anything for your organization or individually. Just let me know.
Definitely. And Mo, what was your contact as far as online as well too?
My contact online, you can go to the website at www.loveenergyservices.com, and you can go on there, or you can go on Instagram, Love Energy Services. You can see a lot of testimonials of people who have done services and stuff with me, or you can go to Facebook, Love Energy Services. So everything is Love Energy Services. We are not on Twitter. We are just on IG and Facebook. And the website. So just if you go on there, you can find all the information, or you can call me directly at 240-468-2571, or you can email me at loveenergy19@gmail.com. And Fallon will have that information. I'll type it in the chat. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Mo. And did anyone have any questions from the floor for Mo? Alrighty, so now we're going to turn it over to TD Bank. I'll allow them to introduce themselves because I don't want to mess up anyone's name. So I'll turn it over to you, and while I bring up the PowerPoint, just do a quick introduction of yourself and things as well too. Thank you, Brent.
Hello, thank you for having me, and thank you for every one of you guys for serving. Give me the opportunity to be here today. So I'm here, I'm from South Tiba. I'm actually the store manager at TD Bank at the Navy Yard. We opened back in July, and I also have one of my bankers with me. I'll let him introduce himself.
How you guys doing today? My name is Aaron Lee. Like the boss man said, I'm also from TD over at Navy Yard. And I want to thank you guys for your service as well.
All right. So as we put up the PowerPoint, kind of a reason why we wanted this partner up, I actually had a member who came into my store and shared with me about this roundtable and was gracious enough to share this finance information. and mentioned one of Park. So I want to thank you, two of you as well, for having us here today. This was not more so about getting businesses, but more so giving back to the community, giving back to our veterans for everything you guys have done. There are a lot of resources out there, and I know post-COVID, a lot of people say, banks are not, lending money. That's not necessarily true. We just got to be better positioned and better informed to get to those things. So a couple of things we want to go over and try to point out for me was some folks were wondering some of the requirements to open a business account. Back in the day, it was a lot easier. Now it's not tougher to open a business account. So when you start thinking about you want to establish a business, a couple of things you want to kind of think about. One, obviously, you want to think about your business name. What do you want to call a business? And are you thinking of LLC, corporation, and those things? Some of the resources that are out there to kind of determine what is the best course of action is if you're registered in DC, there's DC.gov business website you can go to. Maryland has the S. You can also go to that as well. It'll give you every breakdown. The common one is honestly LLC. It's a limited liability. A lot of people go to that. So that's one thing to keep in mind. One thing I tell folks, a lot of people will open LLCs, but then they'll use it in conjunction with their personal accounts and personal transactions. There's a reason why you got LLC, incorporation. It's a limited liability. And so the minute you start commingling, you're facing that corporate fail. And so that's when you'll have someone wants to sue you or something and get a good attorney and able to see where you're using business funds for personal, that causes a whole different issue. So when you're thinking about opening an account preparation, it's thinking about one, what bank you want to go to, what is it that you're doing, right? And once you decide this LLC corporation, you want to register that with state or the district, with Maryland, Virginia, DC, or whatever state you choose to, and you want to get that business registered because you're going to need that to open an account. Second thing you want to also make sure you do is go to irs.gov, get a tax ID number, also known as EIN number. It's all one and the same. You are going to need that. One, to file your taxes for the business. Two, because the banks are also required as well. So no matter what bank you go to, it's not just TD. You're going to need articles and you're going to need EIN letter to establish any account. So those things you want to get, and depending if you want to expedite, not expedited, I think that most of the courts out in the DMV takes about a week or so to get this document back to you to kind of get that business started. So now, in terms of some of the things you want to prepare yourself when you're thinking, we'll kind of go through a PowerPoint, try to start flipping for me. So the first PowerPoint I kind of bring out is, you have to have planning, right? If you can't just say, okay, today I'm going to start a business doing cleaning dogs. You got to be able to know, okay, what is involved? What am I going to need? What is the cost of starting that business cost? It's not just go to PetSmart and get a whole bunch of stuff. There's vendors and wholesalers where you can get it way cheaper than the PetSmart to be able to do that. So you want to start kind of thinking the components of the business. One is seeking outside funding. Why are you get the money to start this business up? No. Most states usually people go their 401k, their retirement, friends and family, max their personal credit card. Yes, you are going to have to put some skin in the game in terms of your own funds, wherever that may be. But the last thing you always want to do is it's never really advantageous to really go into your 401k or your retirement to go start a business, right? Because you still have to live as the business builds. So that's the first thing. You got to start thinking where am I getting the funding? How am I going to find that? Who are going to be my partners? Is it going to be just me? Who's my support system? Most people, believe it or not, fail because they start a business and they have not aligned themselves with anybody. And it's not just family. You can just talk to people who's in the business to just kind of help guide your understanding. You want to find things and resources that's going to increase your chances of success. Kind of your ventures, is it really feasible? And obviously smart planning and reflect on management and your leadership capabilities. So this kind of common thing, financial flow, when we talk about cash flow, profit and loss, balance sheet, those are things you should start thinking about. How much money am I going to want to spend day from day? We all obviously want to start business and be profitable, but does it make sense to open a business and off the bat hire 10 employees when you don't need one? Who's your customer base? What area you're going to target? You can go all of the DMV, but you want to have a targeting market. Are you targeting ages this group? Are you targeting the male, female, LGBT community? Are you targeting a certain race, a certain area? Are you targeting minorities or so? Like, what benefit do you add of that? And then how much of the competition is out there? We have a lot of online stores. This was not the brick front, doesn't mean not competition. So you got to think of your competition. Who is your audience? How are you getting to them? And if you're targeting the new generation, obviously social media should be your best friend because that's where you're going to find that generation. And what's the operation look like? Is it something you can sustain? Do you have the proper things in place to know at any given moment where's your income, where's your expenses and things like that? And how you going to grow your business? When you're starting a business, once you finish running a startup, you should automatically start thinking 3 to 5 years. What is that going to look like? What plans that I have? Who do I have in my corner? What are some of the resources that I have? Or, what does my bank offer? And as veteran, there's a lot of amazing veteran programs out there that banks offer. Even the Veterans Affair. My brother-in-law is actually a veteran, and he works for federal government contracting. There's a lot of grants out there for veterans that even us as bankers know we can kind of help guide you and get the information to. And so right here, I particularly bring this one up because a lot of businesses start and they don't have a business plan. The business plan is usually in our head. Like, we know what we want to do, how the business wants to look, this, that, but we don't really have a business plan. And a lot of time when you think about a business plan, SBA lending has become very big since COVID. I will tell you, TD Bank, in our footprint, anywhere in the footprint, we've been the #1 lender in SBA for the last 5 years. We try not to say no versus conventional. So SBA, they're going to want your business plan. And so your business plan, just some key components that they're going to look for off the break. When you're doing a business plan, when you're doing your business plan, they want to know, what is this plan looking like? The executive summary, like, how did this business come about? You can't spend 20 years, at a car dealership and all of a sudden decide, I want to open a hotel. You could be successful, but they want to know you've had experience in it. What you offering? What is your knowledge in this? What is the market for this business right now? Your marketing strategy, how you going to reach out to your clientele, the competition, how is the business going to operate? Do you have a management team, or is it just you or any personnel you may have? So those are just key components that SBA look into when we're talking about business planning for financing, for any support that you may have or may need to kind of go there. In terms of getting capital, that's very big. So the objective of your business plan is very important. And we can send out this PowerPoint. I don't know if you have, if you want this PowerPoint, we can send it out. But the rest of the slide, in the interest of time, I'll with every page. But it really gives you the detail of what your executive summary should look like. Your business description, company objective, products, offering, service. This is the part of the body of your business plan that you can get into in details that's going to speak to it. So if you walk into somewhere, you're not going to be in the room when the underwriter is looking at this to make a decision you're alone. That should be able to speak to exactly what you do, very clear and precise, and provide details. Even with your key management team, what is the experience of your key management team that's going to help you be supportive? How does this differ you from all the competition and all that? Next one. This gets into the rest of the details of everything. So this PowerPoint, we'll just kind of go over kind of when we talk about accounting and managing your finances, just kind of a thing to look for, kind of same thing on small business capital. When you have to fund a business, you know, most people will go to friends and family for financing. That's typically the most common. People will kind of ask their friends to invest in them. That's usually we have friends, hopefully, you know, they're not charging you high interest. That's when you kind of reach your capital. Those are some of the resources from an accounting perspective. But you also want to make sure that you're accounting for, you find either an Excel spreadsheet or there's some good financial software out there. If you do have an account with TD, we do offer free accounting software where you can input, you know, X friends, X family gave me this. You can input all your credit card debts. You want to be able to track where the money's coming from. Especially when you be thinking about, I'm using my credit card to buy this, I'm using my line of credit for this, because every penny of interest you pay on this credit, that's a tax deductible. That's something from an accounting perspective your accountant's going to ask you for. How much money you spend in credit cards, how much credit did you use? And then I mentioned SBA guaranteed loans. It's very big, and that's where that come in. So then your uncle help you back with your loan kind of situation. If you ever own a home, SBA is kind of equivalent to what FHA is in the housing market. That's what SBA is. It backs you up, it backs the bank up, so the bank know if something happens, they're not going to lose all their money. But there's also bank loans and line of credit, both business and personal, is another kind of good source that you can use for that. But if you decide to use personal, make sure you're paying back into it from the business account as well, from an accounting perspective. And there's angel hair investors. There are people out there willing to loan money, and for whatever it is. I don't know if you guys heard of Shark Tank. Those are kind of like your angel investors. Shark Tank is always out there. Those millionaires go out and give there. There are a lot of wealthy people in the DMV who, towards this time of the year, for tax reason, are looking to just invest in companies. They may never ask you what you do or step foot in your business, but they're willing to put that money out there because they get a tax cut. So they're also really good investors as well. But you got to be careful. There are some out there who will want a high rate of return on a certain portion of your business. So you got to be very careful with those as well. And there are, of course, there's venture capitalists, people who are just seeking out different stages of investors to invest in things like that. So those are some ways to kind of build capital from there. Next slide. And of course, your own wallet. Obviously, most banks are going to want you to know what you're putting into the business before they lend you money. Depending on the bank, it's anywhere from 20-50%. I can tell you, TD Bank, for veterans, we won't actually put no more than 10% of your own money into a startup business. And that doesn't matter if it's SBA or conventional. If it's SBA, that 10% is up for discussion. It's not even like a guarantee, like you have to put 10%. We have a privilege with the SBA, so they give us really room to work with that, but most banks are going to ask you for 10 to 50% kind of your own money investment into that business as well. So one of the things to keep in mind, and there's a lot of things on the internet about what to tell and not tell a bank. One of the things that people tell you is you don't want to let the bank know this or let the bank know that. One of the things you really think about is make sure you're informed before you walk into any financial institution, whether it's a bank, private lender, or any situation where you borrow money. Know about the company, know what they do, know who they invest in, who they do business in. Understand every bank has an appetite for business. So I can tell you, every bank loves medical. Every bank loves, the funeral kind of thing. You can guarantee people are going to get sick and people are going to die. So every bank has kind of a industry, in certain industries that they invest in very heavily with lending because it got a high rate of success. And understand who their existing clientele base are. Those are things you want to kind of know who you're doing business with. I was able to know who you're getting in bed with. Yes, we all banks, we offer the same thing, but you gotta kind of pay attention to where they're doing business at. How much are they giving back to that community? What have they done to support, people who are either veterans, minorities, how well informed the community they are. And when you go there, don't just go there asking questions and whatever you hear is what you go. I would tell people, don't trust everything I say. Do the research for yourself. I don't expect you to meet with me on day one and say, "Franz, I love it, let's go." No, do your own research. Take what I say, take it back, run it by someone else, run it by another bank. You always want to make sure that you continue to educate yourself and you understand what the process looks like and that the process actually makes sense for you. Because you're financing the capital of the business, that's what's a hindrance. It's supposed to make your life easier. So it shouldn't require you to go so far out of your way that it's a hindrance. Be very honest. Be very straightforward and honest about what is it that you're trying to achieve. Sometimes people think maybe not information makes things worse. No, they make things better. Tell people you're a veteran, this is what you're seeking. Because I tell you, I've done loans for veterans that could have gotten declined, but because I'm like, they're a veteran, they've been this way, this is the cause behind it, and it's changed the whole financial picture. It changed the way we went about doing that loan because we understand that, okay, this is what this person's trying to achieve. And plan effectively. Don't overspend, don't overborrow, don't stretch yourself. Most banks like the 2-in-1 ratio. So basically, they want to know that for every $2 you spend, you're spending, you got at least $2. The dollar pay them back and the dollar put back in the bank. It's most on a 2-to-1 ratio. So don't say, okay, well, this bank is giving me credit card, that bank is giving me credit cards because I have access to it, let me get it. I don't know what I'm going to need. No, plan accordingly. You can get the line of credit. If you don't need to use it, let it sit there. Just let it sit there because that shows that you're being responsible. Because as you continue to move up and as we're thinking about DC, and you think about government contract, especially for veterans, you think about government contract, they're always going to want you to have a line of credit as a backup. Because most contracts on a 30 to 45 day invoicing. So you may do the work, but you might not get a check 45, 60 days later. Well, your employees, business still got to run, bills got to be paid. So they want to know that while you wait for that, your business is still going to thrive. So that's where I make sure you properly plan and having that line of credit in space, in place, just in case you need it, makes more sense. Because then when you get that, you pay that back, you keep that going. And again, the interest you pay on that, it is tax deductible. I'm not an accountant, but my mom owned a business now. I'm in a church business, so I know it's a tax deductible. So kind of keep those things in mind as well and just plan effectively for it. I can tell you a lot of people that I talked to pre-COVID, I'm like, man, your business, you're profitable, but you're so far on the edge, any big emergency push you over, you're there. And then COVID happened. I can't tell you how many people I talked to prior to COVID. Obviously, no one expected COVID to happen or it lasted this long. I said, how many people I talked to prior? I was like, man, I should listen. And now they're like, well, can we do it now? Well, things have changed. Business have dropped. So it's always better to get credit when you don't need it. Because usually when you need credit, it's because something's happening. That's what causes you more debt. So it's always better to have and not need than need and not have. So that's kind of like be plan effective and go from there. And there's a lot of resources out there. Okay, so there's a lot of resources out there. TD does a lot of financial literacy. We are not a sales-driven bank. So you can walk literally into any TD bank and just sit down with someone and just get informed. You can go to our online website at td.com and it'll walk you through, and it actually has a template. If you like, I want somebody to sit down and do a business plan with me. We have a link online where it gives you the whole template and you just write out your entire business plan. So don't feel like you're by yourself. Other resources are the SBA. You can also go to the SBA website and register for SBA Mentor, who will help you build the business, register the business plan it, and kind of go through the whole process without kind of making an error. But you want to go in with a plan and know what you're doing. Okay? So in the interest of time, I'll stop there. Any questions, please let me know. Just ready to call me. Like I said, I'm in the Navy Yard, TD Bank. I'll give Ms. Fowler my information and pass it on. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. And one of the main reasons why we brought, especially Francine here today from TD Bank, was that a lot of veterans, they do a lot of good work benefiting the community regardless. And then sometimes it ends up turning into a business, anyway. So, as we look forward to that, we might not be in business ourselves, but how can we help someone else and give them tips as well too? And next, we're going to go ahead and move forward with some resources. For access housing on Chesapeake Street Southeast, they will be taking holiday turkey donations up until November 21st. And Thanksgiving dinner will be Tuesday, November 22nd from 3 to 5 p.m. Along with them having a Veterans Day program ceremony on November 8th from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. at 820 Chesapeake Street Southeast in Ward 8. And as we all know, they typically call it Veterans Stand Down, but this year they're calling it Winter Haven for Veterans. And it's going to be at the DC VA Medical Center at November 5th. And they're going to basically have all types of services starting at, I think it's 10 a.m. for veterans, focused on anywhere from housing and security. If you need help with VSOs or resources in the area, anything VA, they will be there. Also, there will be a Disabled Veterans Resource Fair in Silver Spring at the Civic Center. I have the flyers over here too, and I'll put the URL in the box, but that is going to be on Thursday, November 10th, and it starts at 9:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. and it's in Silver Spring, Maryland. Okay. And at the MLK Library, our own director, Tamiko, will be there. They're going to do a holiday concert from 1 to 2 p.m., just celebrating veterans, our work that we all do in the community, and recognize us there. We would love to have you there as well, too. And of course, this month is Native Veteran American Heritage Month. So they would do a procession for the Native Indians on November 11th, which I will be taking part of as well too. The procession is going to start at 2 p.m. at the National Mall.
Are you part Native American, Fallon?
Yes. And then another upcoming event, the DC Center will be hosting a movie called Inception. It's going to be November 17th at the Landmark Theater's East Street Cinema. Please support that if you have the chance. And as always, for our LGBTQI plus veterans, every Monday from 4 to 5 p.m. we have a virtual group that's open for individuals to share their stories and just have that support as well too. Okay, something that just came up that I saw was Nourish DC. They're currently taking applications for that program. So if you know of any type of small food business, please make sure that you're utilizing the resources as well too. DC has tons of small business resources, and MOVA just always tries to stay abreast of what they're doing out there as well too. Okay, and if anyone you know of or yourself is in need of Thanksgiving dinner, the DC Center has partnered with Wegmans, and you can sign up starting as early as November 1st, and pick up for the meal will be on Wednesday, November 23rd. So, tell your individuals about it as well too. And then also, another resource we ran by was Bread for the City, we'll be giving out $50 debit cards to all DC residents. So the sign up will start on November 1st through the 23rd. So as long as you're a DC resident, you come up there, you show your ID, they will be providing $50 debit cards for Thanksgiving for you with other items. Okay, and here are just some other resources as well too. A holiday basket giveaway, which will be at the Parkview Recreation Center on November 19th, and also a Thanksgiving turkey giveaway at Bladensburg High School at Saturday, November 19th. And when a lot of people ask for resources and things of that nature, when MOVA can't necessarily always provide it, or another government agency, or the CRC, or the VA, DC is blessed enough to have our mutual aid group. I do have a picture of that up here if anybody wants to take it. So if you have any veteran or any DC constituent in need of it, or even if you're in Maryland as well too, individuals have came together. They have their own mutual aid groups, and if they don't have the resource themselves, they'll figure out a way to find it as well too. So this is each ward has their own mutual aid individual as well too, along with Maryland. Okay, and before I close, we have a total of 12 minutes left. It's been kind of difficult because we're trying to make sure we do hybrid and in person. So I'm sorry if I wasn't able to kind of do both of them and give both the attention. But we're just trying to make sure we serve both communities and, as well too. So what we're going to do, we're going to go across the room and just going to say name, your affiliation to a military organization, and what made you come to today's roundtable. And I'll start off with that as well too.
Hi, my name is Angela Clark from the United States Air Force. This is my second time coming with the VA's office before the mayor, and I'm just trying to see exactly what we have available for us veterans, as well as passing the word to other folks who don't know, which I was one of them that didn't know that this agency existed. And now that it does, I'm going to try and see exactly how much I can contribute just by being in attendance, coming here and getting whatever information that they have available and passing it on, and hopefully bringing in more folks who are from the DMV veteran and come and join up and see what they can offer. And word of mouth is always best friend, as well as all the social media. But just running into the folks that I do know at the VA hospitals, and let me tell you, these folks would be interested in things that are going on right now. So thank you for having this, and appreciate it.
Thank you so much for coming.
Hi, Robin Walker Salas. I'm fourth generation Navy and second generation Washingtonian. And I've been coming here to the MOVA meetings for several years. And I live here in DC, and this is my community, and I've been a veteran for 40 years. These are systemic problems, and we just need to keep on top of it and hold people accountable. We're not in the military, we're veterans now. And I appreciate being able to be here and speak for the demographics that don't always speak for themselves. And thanks for giving me some time and recognition. Thanks, Alan.
Thanks. Thank you for always being here.
My name is Elsa. So much I love you. Yeah. Thank you so much.
The name is Al Waller. I'm a United States Air Force veteran, 100% disabled, and I'm interested in long-term care for veterans and how you coordinate their benefits because they need help and understanding. Basically, I'm interested in a reach-out program, and to provide long-term care.
Yes. Thank you so much for that. I actually just had a call with Jim from the Armed Forces Retirement Home last week, so we definitely connect as well too. So obviously we're kind of running short on time, so we're not going to have the ability to get everyone in the chat box, but if you could always drop your information in there as well, it will be greatly appreciated. Any other resources of that too, please feel free to reach out. And we're just going to go back to our DC woman veteran, Mo Jasul. And I just want to give a closing with this. We can continue to move forward and provide service and programs, but we definitely need everyone to speak up and say something, because we serve you as an office, and your voice matters. We just currently had DC Women's Veterans Day last Friday, and it was covering Use Your Voice, and that's in all platforms. As a combat disabled veteran myself, I know sometimes that might seem like we don't have a voice, especially with some of the systemic issues like Robin had said earlier, but it's important for all of us to always speak up and say something. And MOVA is here to help. We did an amazing job at our transportation program, ensuring that our veterans have transportation in the area. Also, we have an amazing VSO, 3 million in the area, and really focusing on having someone that will follow up and will have an amazing reputation and build trust. So we are here for you. If you ever need something, you ever need resources, we will definitely refer you to the right thing and do a warm handoff. We always try to stay best informed. Like I say, Bread for the City is there. There's tons of resources in the city, and if you have issues navigating them, please feel free to come to our office, because our job is to take care of our veterans community. Thank you so much, and unfortunately we won't be having roundtables on November and December, but we will start back in January. It's always the the last Thursday in every month. But if you have any other questions, you want to give suggestions on what the roundtables content should be, or something that you want to see, email me, reach out. I'm more than available to sit down and talk and hear about some of the concerns, or even some of the resources that you might have available that you're willing to share. So we just want to say thank you for your time. Enjoy your holiday season,